Some geometric construction using GeoGebra. Our first one is going to be segment bisector. So what we want to do is start with a segment of any length. It doesn't, right here works. I like to change mine to a different color. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a circle about A and a circle about B. And those circles have to be the same radii. So I'm going to go circle with center and radius, and I will hit my center A. And the radius, it has to be more than half of your segment. So I'm just looking at my segment. It's roughly 16 to 18. So I have to have more than 6. So I'm going to just go with 8. And of course, I like to have different colors. So we will do a light color and some dotted lines. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing, and it has to be the same radius about point B. So center with radius. Did I hit it? Circle, center, and radius. And we did 8, so we must do 8 again. I will change the color quickly. And the last, then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line from these intersection points. But let's create those intersection points by going to this point, intersect. And if you just point in the area, it'll plop up there. And the last thing we want to do is grab a segment from our intersecting points. In this case, it's C and D. I think I hit line, but that's okay. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to hit segment. Okay. From C to D. There you go. Now you have a perpendicular bisector. And if you want to double check it, you can use the measurement feature to make sure from A to this intersection and from this intersection to B are equal. Okay, we are going to switch to angle bisector now. So we want to start with an angle, and to do that, we will just hit the angle button and 3 points. Okay, it does tell you the measurement, but I'm going to take that label off so we don't have to see it. And then I'm going to draw some, I'll just draw some segments instead of lines or rays, I guess. And there we go. So to do an angle bisector, now that we have this, we're going to use, again, the circle that has center and radius. And we're first going to put that on B. And we have to figure out what radius we want. Okay. And it doesn't matter, but it looks like I have a 6-unit segment going on my initial side. So I don't know. Let's do 3 for fun. Okay. And of course I'm going to change that a little bit. So it has at least dotted lines a little bit here. Oh yeah, that looks good. Let's change the color too. Ooh, all right. So now our next step is to use the intersect button to place dots where that circle intersects your angle sides. Then we're going to use that same measure of radius for circle and do one with center D and one of center E. So we had a radius of 3. So I'm going to do that here. And then I'm also going to do that here. And I'm going to change those so they're dotted. It's just easier to see this way. Okay, so when I click off of it, you can see we had the original circle here, and then we have off of what centers D and E, we have kind of more of a purpley color. What we want to do is we want to draw a ray, or I'm just going to do a segment from our vertex. Actually, I have to hold back 1 second, undo that. What we're going to do is intersect this, so we have a point. And now we're going to draw a segment from B to F. There we go. So now you have an angle bisector BF, which bisects angle ABC. Our third construction is going to be creating a line perpendicular to a line or a segment to a point on the line. So I created a segment AB here, and I put a point C just randomly on the line, and we're going to end up with a segment. I'll do segments, but we'd have a segment or line perpendicular to segment AB at point C. So to start this, we are going to use a circle with we'll do center and radius. So our center is C, and I think we'll just do a radius of 2. Okay, I'll make that look a little lighter. Haven't done green yet. Okay, and then where this circle intersects the segment, I'm going to create 2 points. I thought I was. There we go. So points D and E are now on the circle and intersecting with segment AB. Since I used a radius of 2 for this, I am now going to create another circle, but with center D, and another one with center E, but it must have a larger radius. Otherwise, it's just going to go straight through C. So let's do that. Let's do just a radius of 3, since we did 2 last time. And I'll do another one here, center E, and I will change the look of those. Okay, so now I'm going to create points where those 2 larger circles intersect. And then I'm going to draw a segment through those points F and G. And now we have perpendicular segments through line C. Okay, now we're going to construct a line perpendicular, a segment perpendicular to a segment AB with the point not on the line. This is very similar to when the point is on the line, as you will see. So first, I drew it and I made it kind of wonky. I thought, well, geez, I'm always doing this horizontal and vertical stuff. Let's make it a little oblique. So I'm going to start with center and radius on C, and I think I don't know, let's try 3 and see if that works. Okay, we'll do 3. I'm just going to like it over there. So I'm going to close that. Make that a little bigger. I messed with my settings or something, so it's not doing what I want it to do. Let's see. Okay, that'll have to do. Okay, so I was going to change the properties of this circle. And I'll go with more dots and a different color. And then I'm going to, so that was radius 3. So I'm going to find my intersection points right here of the circle and the segment. I'll hit point, intersect. There we go. And now I'm going to do another circle with the radius 3 on D as a center and as on E as a center. And I'll change the properties of those. Click off of that. Okay, so now I have these two circles intersecting, circle with center D and circle with center E, and I'm going to draw a line, a segment between C and this intersection. So I will get an intersecting point right there, and then I will draw the segment, maybe. And since this is maybe a little bit harder to see that it's 90 degrees, I'll go ahead and measure this angle here. But I do need to intersect these, so I have a point for my angle. I think I didn't intersect these lines correctly. So, hold on. We'll go back and we'll learn from our mistakes. Let me intersect these two circles. There we go. Then there we go. And now if I measure, I think I'm measuring the wrong one here. All right, I'm going to pause this and I may try to fix it here. Okay, I apologize for that. I made one little mistake and then it threw everything off. So I'm going to go through this hopefully rather quickly. I drew a new segment, a new point off the line, and I'm going to again do a circle with the radius, the center being C, and we'll do the radius 3. Okay, and where these intersect, all right, I'm going to make this dotted. Where these intersect, I will put an intersecting point. Okay. And now, where I messed up previously is that I made a circle with center D and E that was the same size, but we need to make it slightly bigger. So I'm going to make this have a 3.5 radius, and same with center E. Now it's a little bit easier to see. Let me go ahead and change this to dotted. Oops. So now I have this intersection point, and I'm going to go ahead and draw a little point there where those two intersect. Nope, I didn't hit the right thing. Intersect. There. And then I'll draw a segment from C to H, and I will put an intersecting point on my supposedly perpendicular line to segment AB. if I am doing that right. Intersecting point. There. And then I will measure it, and it better be 90 degrees. Ta-da, it is. All right, one last one. Parallel lines through a point, and I will have that in just a sec. Okay, so this is a little bit trickier. Parallel lines through a point, and I drew a segment and a point, and I am going to start by putting another point on this segment. And then I'm going to draw a line to guide us through D and C. I think I'll make it dotted. Right. Now I'm going to use the circle with a center and radius and draw around D and C. And I think I'll do a radius of, I'm not sure, 2 and 2. I think those are a little big. Let me just do 1.5 maybe. Yeah, that just makes it a little bit cleaner. Okay, so now I'm going to find the intersections with my line that I drew through D and C and the circles that I just made. First, I'm going to make my circles a little bit different. Okay. So I'm going to create the point of intersection between the circle D and the line DC and circle C and the line DC. All right, so I have intersection points E and F. And what I want to do is find out how far point E is. Like I want to create a circle or something where it connects. So I'm going to put another point on segment AB. And then I'm going to measure the distance from E to my new point G. Which is 1.22. So I'm going to use that as the radius of a circle around F. And where the circle C and circle F intersect, I'm going to create an intersection point. Okay, I see where I messed up now. So I'm going to get rid of this circle. And point G, we'll get off of there. I thought I was... There we go. So I randomly put a point, which made absolutely no sense. What I want to do is put a point on segment AB as it intersects with circle D. And then I'm going to measure, I'm going to take that off, measure the distance between E and H. Which is 1.29. And then I'll create a circle, F, with the radius 1.29. Actually, I wonder if that's rounded. No, it's not. Okay. And now the intersection of my circle F and my circle C, I'm going to draw a line through C and I, that intersection there. And this line is now parallel to the segment we started with.